Hey there, how's it going? How's your summer been? Mine's been pretty crazy. My wife and I had a bouncing baby boy. Do you want to see my son? Oh, come here, you. Oh, you're sleeping, yeah. Psych, it's a doll. You think I'd show you web perverts my real kid? Nice try. Speaking of kids, why don't we check out a movie made in 1993 that went straight to video that has the word kid in the title? That's right, The 00 Kid. It stars Corey Haim and it's about spies. Don't you love spy movies? I sure do. All except for those Mission Impossible movies. I can't stand Tom Cruise. If I have to hear about him dangling his 4'7" frame out of another moving vehicle, I'm gonna lose it. Anyway, let's turn our attention to The 00 Kid. And just look at that incredible cover. There's a lot going on here. You have Corey Haim 3 times, Nicole Eggert twice, hello. You have chess pieces scattered, symbolizing the chaotic world of the super spy. And look at that, the word arcade. That's cool. And to give the back of the box a dramatic, action-packed read, I'm gonna throw it over to my best friend, Jacob Anders. That way we know what the movie's all about. Go for it.
His weapons, a super soaker and a joystick. His mission, save the world before dinner. 17-year-old Lance Elliot is a summer intern at the agency. His fantasies of espionage and intrigue turn real when he's ordered to rush a package to LA. A madman millionaire computer virus designer and his icy henchwoman want that package. It's key to their plot to destroy the environment. Lance stays one step ahead of them, trying to avoid a visit to their video games of doom room. It's action, comedy, and Corey Haim, the 00 Kid.
Hey, thanks Jacob, that was great. Be sure to check out Jacob's YouTube channel. I put a link to it in the description of this video. Now, I love the 00 Kid, but it is one of those movies that really can't figure out who it's for. I think a lot of that has to do with the age of Corey Haim when this was shot. He was kind of aging out of that Corey Haim teen sensation era, but he was also too young to be taken seriously as an adult actor. So sometimes the movie has him childishly fantasizing about being a super spy and beating up on his annoying little brother. He uses a squirt gun and he holds a cheeseburger like a toddler. But the movie also has porno mags and murder and the not so casual suggestion of rape.
And now they're so busy up there, we can both use a little time out.
So who is this movie for? Well, it's for me. And you. Anyway, if Lance is our heroic James Bond, who is our villainous Dominic Green? The one and only evil computer hacker, Cashpot. That's his name, Cashpot. His name is just Cashpot. And he's played by the one and only Wallace Shawn, who phones in this performance worse than anything I've ever seen. He played the blackjack dealer in Vegas Vacation with 10 times more flair.
Ooh, big bet for a big man.
So as the diabolical evil villain, what's Cashpot's big evil scheme? Well, for starters, it's not even his scheme. A shady businessman named Rudy, played by John Rhys Davies, tries to bring Cashpot in on an evil plan to hack into the airport's flight control to bring down and crash a plane full of environmentalists. Because some evil corporate guys that Rudy is in league with will profit, or something.
They're prepared to pay $12 million. I suggest we split it 50-50. 7 for me, 5 for you.
You haven't changed, Rudy.
Unfortunately for Rudy, Cashpot doesn't want to split any of the money from the job. So he decides to do away with Rudy in his own special way, by bringing him into his dreaded video games of doom room, which is a big room full of arcade games designed with one thing in mind: to kill the player. This is what the movie really went with. Rudy plays a car driving game and somehow the injuries and car damage manifest themselves in real life. Until it's game over. Anyway, let's get back to Lance and get to know him a little bit better. There's not much to know about him. He's your typical teenage slacker type. He lives with his mom, but in his own little space above the garage, separate from the house. As mentioned earlier, Lance interns at the agency, which is just the CIA. He's of course a bumbling idiot, can't even get the coffee orders right.
How much sugar's in this?
Oh, that's mine. I'm sorry. I have four packets. Here you go. This one's yours.
But management sees something in him. The plot really kicks off when Lance's supervisor, Trout, sends him from Philadelphia to Los Angeles to deliver a very important package. Lance lands in Los Angeles, and since he's from the suburbs of Philly, he immediately becomes enchanted by his surroundings. And the audience is treated to the film's first of two, "Hey, we're in LA now" montages, complete with beaches, babes, and palm trees. Everything is going smoothly until Lance reaches his destination. Turns out the package was meant for someone who works for the FAA, and it just so happens two of Cashpot's goons have already showed up trying to get the FAA security card from him so that they can hack into the airline computers. Thinking fast, the guy slips Lance the key card before the goons can steal it. Lance thinks he was given the card by mistake, but by the time he gets back to the office to return it, he hears Mr. Weinberg and his secretary each get served a piping hot plate of lead casserole. When Lance uses a payphone to report back to Trout what happened, we get to see the movie's only real piece of spy technology. When Lance hooks up a special pen to the payphone to write out a fax to his boss Trout to tell him what happened.
Delivered package, I think. Weinberg is in serious trouble. Did he make the plane?
I kind of like Trout in this movie, even if he is a total dweeb. Perhaps the movie was trying to paint Trout as a father figure for Lance, since Lance doesn't have a dad at home. The movie could have done more to explore that relationship, but obviously they didn't. Too bad. I wish someone was around to teach Lance how to comb his hair, how to hold a hamburger. Look at him, holding that thing like it's a harmonica. At least Lance knows how to defend himself. Here he is in a scuffle with the goons who are after that FAA keycard. Lance takes off not only with the keycard but with the goons' valet ticket, so he steals their car, and while Lance cruises down Hollywood Boulevard, we get the second "Hey, we're in LA now" montage, complete with bright neon signs. More neon signs and an extended shot of, you guessed it, babes. And Lance is drinking it all in. He gets so tuckered out that he wakes up on top of a parking garage the next morning. Since the limo belongs to the goons, it isn't long before they track Lance's whereabouts and sick a team of assassins on him. I mean, really, all it would take to take Lance down is one guy with a gun and just walk up and shoot him. But instead, because this movie has the mentality of a coked-up 11-year-old, the group of assassins are just a small group of rollerbladers armed with hockey sticks. They chase Lance through the parking garage, even when Lance hops on top of some poor woman's car. Eventually, Lance falls off the car into the street and collides with Melinda.
Guys, you gotta help me, please.
Get out of my car!
What's that? You don't know who Melinda is? Oh, she's the girl we saw a couple minutes ago, shown inexplicably pushing a shopping cart down the street. Why would she be pushing a shopping cart? Well, so we can have this super contrived scene of Lance hurting his ankle and needing her to push him down the street while the rollerbladers chase them. Yeah, Lance, grab that super soaker. You'll need it for when you find that canister of flammable, so you can somehow fill the super soaker up with it and spray hot flames at your attacker. Hey guys, try a gun next time. And it's not like this movie doesn't go there with the violence. The opening scene has Cashpot's goons gunning down security guards, so having such an ineffective means of attacking Lance seems so incredibly stupid. Anyway, Lance and Melinda hit it off immediately.
Elliot. Lance. Elliot.
Melinda Blake.
Quite literally, the next scene is them walking hand in hand down Hollywood Boulevard, where we quickly transition to the zoo. And hey look, both are now dressed up as sitcom characters. Melinda is Blossom and Lance, well, I think he's been hanging with Mr. Cooper. The whole reason they're at the zoo is because back inside the limo, Lance found a note about a meetup to buy the thumbprint access to the airport security.
Excuse me.
Well, excuse me? Well, shit.
Shit, Lance, I think somebody's following us.
Turns out the guy following them is Lance's boss, Trout, who's none too happy about Lance having not returned home from Los Angeles. But also on their trail are some of Cashpot's goons, who spook Lance and Melinda into another chase sequence.
Lance! Alligators!
A stranger ushers Lance and Melinda into a limo, where Lance gives the lowdown on who he is and what's going on.
I'm with the CIA. I'm a new recruit. This right here, this is why we're being chased, okay?
All that fuss for this.
Shit.
The limo is, of course, a trap, courtesy of Cashpot. And now that he has Lance and Melinda in his clutches, it's the perfect time to kill them. Never mind, Cashpot just tells them the whole evil plan.
As you know, I'm in the business of designing very specific computer viruses. And for today's operation, we have designed a virus to intercept the flying controls and cause the plane to crash.
Before long, Lance and Melinda are taken into Cashpot's deadly video games of doom room, where Lance is made to play a game called the Doom Tomb. That's right, he plays the Doom Tomb in the video games of doom room.
Shit.
Oh no, Lance, look out! I guess he's controlling the mummy, almost like this is kind of a FMV or Sega CD type game. It's quite stupid. Eventually the game dispenses poisonous gas, so Lance just has to hold his breath until Melinda comes and pulls the plug. So Lance doesn't even outsmart the game. What was the point of that? Meanwhile, back in the control room, Cashpot transmits the virus to the airplane full of environmentalists.
It's Lance and the girl, sir. They've locked themselves in the games room. What do we do now?
Well, they can't go anywhere. We'll deal with them later.
You see what I mean by Wallace Shawn? He's so flat in this role. They should have given his role to John Rhys-Davies. He played a very charismatic villain in Delta Force One. Check that video out. Right there. Click that. So Lance and Melinda wind up back in the video games of Doom Room, and Lance somehow, some way, figures out how to hack into the computer chess game and force Cashpot to be his opponent.
Pawn to Queen 4? What's going on here?
I don't get it. Lance and Cashpot have some kind of chess standoff, and Lance then infects Cashpot's computer with a virus with a chess move.
I think that's a check.
The virus has infected our computer.
I don't get it, but Cashpot sure is bummed. Trout and the CIA arrive as backup, so Cashpot and his favorite goon Brigitte Nielsen escape in a helicopter. They think they're making a getaway until Trout accesses Cashpot's computer and somehow transmits the virus to the helicopter. I don't get it. And right before the credits roll, we see Lance and Melinda walk off into the sunset. Amazing. So to sum it up, I enjoyed the 00 Kid, and I think you will too. It's free on Tubi right now, if you can believe it, so go give it a watch. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I think for my next YouTube video, I'm gonna let my infant son decide what to watch. Let me ask him. This is a real one, by the way, not a doll. Oh, come here. So what do you want to watch next video? What's that? Mission Impossible? Oh, what a great idea. Yeah, let me go get it. What a great idea.